everyone, it's Lizzie. Welcome back for a whip and chat. It is Mandie's Whip Along Friday. How is everyone today? I'm just gonna do kind of like a little bit of a story time today and talk about my life and who I am, just for people that are new to the channel and don't really know too much about me. I'm working on my Mandie Manzano Mama Knows Best. I'm kind of at her hips, her lower hips maybe, like her butt area. And I've had a little bit of problems with this, but I'm not going to talk about it too much right on today's video, because I will tell you about it later on. You just gotta wait to find out what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I was just outside. It's freezing out there, like absolutely freezing. The wind is super bad. It was so nice yesterday. Tyler should have cut the grass yesterday, and now today it is super windy. I saw my daughter's boyfriend here and I was hoping he was coming to cut the grass, but he took off again. So I don't think, maybe thought, oh, the wind is way too bad, I'm not cutting the grass, because it is really chilly. I was out there and I was talking to my neighbor because she needed tape, and she asked me if I had any packing tape, and I'm like, well, no, I only have duct tape. You could try this duct tape. I'm like, girlfriend, you need to get out of here. You need to pack up your stuff and go. Like, so I was talking to her for a little bit outside, so I'm cold now because I was doing that. But other than that, it is what it is. I missed one here. Now I'm gonna go to the X. So I'm gonna work away. So I'm gonna talk about me. So I am 26 years old. I'm 26 years old. I wish. Now I'm telling lies. Now you guys are gonna believe anything I say when I just told you I'm 26 years old. I'm 26 years old. I'm 46 years old. I'm going to be 47 in August. I've lived in the town that I live in all my life. My parents immigrated here from Portugal, from the island of Flores, which is from the Azores, which is a part of Portugal. They immigrated here in the 60s with my sister Helen and my brother Joe. And then when they were here in Canada, they ended up having my sister Yvette, and then they had me, and I was the baby of the family. Now, my mom had me in her 40s, which was pretty late in life. She had a lot of complications having me, but I was born. And at the time as she was pregnant with me, they were fixing up this house to live here. They bought this house along in the 70s. So yeah, I remember when I ripped out the furnace when I bought the house. The furnace was built in 1973. That's the year I was born. So yeah. So I've lived here all my life. Obviously, I've been married, and I didn't live here like the whole time. Like when I grew up, like I got married young. I got married at 18. I was young and foolish, and my parents were very strict. And I don't know, I thought I would be having a better life if I moved out. I don't even know what I was thinking, really, to be honest. I should have just stayed home, not dated my ex-husband, and went to college and everything. But if I did, then I wouldn't have the children that I have, and life wouldn't have happened the way it did. So I don't regret getting married. I wish I picked a better husband, but I didn't. So I was married for maybe almost 4 years, I think, or pretty close to 4 years. I had my daughter, Sarah. Pretty much after we got married, I got pregnant with Sarah. And then she was born the following May. We got married in June of 92, and then Sarah was born in May of 93. I was 19 when I had Sarah, so I was a very young mother. We lived in London at the time. We lived in a basement apartment. That's where we moved when I was married. When I got pregnant with Sarah, halfway through, we moved to this townhouse that was scum in London. I don't even know why we moved there. It was like the worst of the worst area. Like, I felt like I lived in the slums. Like, you don't even understand. So we lived there for not even, I don't even think we lived there for 6 months. But we lived there when Sarah was born. And then when Sarah was 6 weeks old, my husband lost his job. He was always losing his job. He lost his job, and my sister Helen called me and said, well, there's a position at Lullabies. So Lullabies was a slipper factory from Tender Tootsies. I don't know if anybody's heard it. It's a Canadian company. And my mom worked there, but my mom worked there too. And my brother Joe worked there. And my sister Helen worked there. And my sister Yvette worked there off and on in the summer when she was going to school. But, okay, I'm just going to backtrack a little bit, stop the marriage part. I'm going to backtrack a little bit to the work. My mom broke her back. She fell off of a chair at work. And she broke her tailbone. And then after that, she never worked a day again. Workers' compensation wouldn't pay her out. They said that she could work. My mom said she couldn't work. So there was a lot of months that we did not have my mom's income because they cut her off. And she applied for disability pension, the federal, not the provincial one. And it takes a long time to come in. So basically, we lived on savings that my mom had saved up for me and Yvette's college funds. We basically lived off of that for a long time. Plus, my dad had a job. He worked at Cuddy Farm, so they still had one income coming in. But I'm pretty sure my parents never had a mortgage at this time on this house. It was well paid off. Just the taxes and, the bills, the regular bills or whatever. And my dad had at least my dad had good benefits when he worked at Cuddy Farms. So anyways, I just wanted to say that part because my mom did work there, but she broke her back and she didn't work there when I started working there. She was way long gone before then. I started working there in the summertime, like for a summer job. That's how I first started working there. So I already worked there before I started, but I worked for my sister Helen. My sister Helen was the boss of the cutting department. So in the summertime, I worked for her, but the job position that was coming up was for the back warehouse. So I ended up going there, and they hired me for that. So Sarah was 6 weeks old, so I had to move back to my mom's house. Because the place we lived in anyways was a dump. I didn't want to live there anymore. So we packed up everything we owned and we came back to my mom's. And we stayed here for a little bit. And my mom watched Sarah while I went to work. Why my husband went to watch her? I don't know, because he didn't have a job. I forget what he was doing. But anyways, he barely ever had a job. So So I used to say Sarah was my mom's favorite because my mom like pretty much helped raise her because she took care of her when I was at work. She would like get up in the middle of the night with her because she still wasn't sleeping through the night, obviously at 6 weeks. So my mom did a lot to help me with Sarah. But when Tyler was born, she didn't, like her back got too bad that she couldn't help with Tyler. But she did help me with Sarah a lot. But my dad was also alive then too with Sarah to help my mom. Like, my dad was an alcoholic, but he was a funny alcoholic. But when Sarah was born, he stopped drinking. He stopped drinking there when I got married for like 2 years. And then he went back to drinking. So at this time, my dad was sober when Alyssa was little. Alyssa, oh, see, I'm getting my kids all mixed up. Sarah was little. But that's another story about my dad. My dad was a major alcoholic. He quit for 2 years and then he went back. I think honestly, if he hadn't gone back, he would have lived a little bit longer with my mom, but he didn't. My dad died in 1996. So Alyssa was super little. Tyler was just maybe, he would have been 3 months old when my dad passed away. And that's pretty much, after my dad passed away, it was pretty much when I left my husband. The same year. Pretty sure that's when I did it. And I left my dad died in, in 96. Sorry about, I'm just getting a little bit, I should have wrote some of this stuff down. Even though it's my life, it's all coming out backwards. So then my mom passed away in 2007. And I pretty much moved into the house in 2008. 2008 I moved in, and because my mom passed away in October and I didn't move in here till February. I used to live, before I lived in me and the kids lived in like a duplex before we moved here. In another not so great part of Strathroy, but we called it home for quite a while. And when I was with my husband, we moved around so much. It was ridiculous how much we moved around. And then when he left, I lived in co-op living for a super long time. And I only moved out of there when I got a really good job at the pharmaceutical company. So that happened in 1989, I got that job. So meanwhile, after this, after I broke up with my husband, I was with another guy. His name was Jason. We dated for a really long, maybe 3 years or so. I really loved him. He's the one that broke my heart. We're still good friends to this day. It's not like we talk every day, but if I see him in the grocery store or something like that, he always says hi. He's always had respect and loved my kids. Like, he was a good guy. Like, the only problem with him is he just couldn't be faithful. But he was a super nice person. Like, he treated me and the kids really nice. He just had a real bad drinking problem back then. And yeah, partying days. Of course, I was no saint either, but I didn't really party when I was with him. It's weird. I don't even know how to explain it. But he was one of my loves. I have a good story about him. Maybe I'll save that story for another time. It's quite comical. If you want to, I could write a book about my life. I'm telling you guys, I could write a book about my life. So anyway, I went out with him and then we broke up, and then I got the job at the pharmaceutical place, and I met this guy in London, and he was like, I met him on like, you know, a dating site. And then I needed to get out of where I was living, and he's offered, well, why don't you come live with me here in London? He had a really nice house, and at the time it sounded really good. So we moved in with him, and he turned out to be a complete, not a very nice person. And I lived with him for not even a year. And while I was working at the pharmaceutical place, I got really friendly with this one guy named Raymond. And then we became friends, and then one thing led to another, and we started hanging out. So I basically left Dave for Raymond. Dave to this day does not even know that I left him for anybody. But that's how, like, he was out of the world. He was very controlling. He kept all my money. I wasn't allowed to keep any of my money in my account, only enough to pay for my car payment and my car insurance, and he took the rest of my money. He even took my child tax credit, which is a credit you get here in Canada for your kids. He would even take that money. He was just very controlling, and I couldn't handle living with him anymore because I was pretty much independent up until then, because, you know, my ex left and I was on my own, and it was very hard, like, for someone to, like, control everything of mine. And I left an abusive husband, like, and I felt like I was just going right back into it again. So I left him and I moved back to Strathroy because I was working in Strathroy anyway. And I moved into a basement apartment, and then Raymond moved in with us, and then we ended up getting a farmhouse together. That was awful. I don't even know why we left the apartment, because the farmhouse was ridiculously crazy. And then when me and Raymond broke up, we were together for maybe 3 years then, I think. And he left me for another girl at work. And that was horrible. That was horrible times back then at work. Back then we weren't really pharmaceutical, we were paintballs back then. Well, anyways, we ended up breaking up again, and I moved into a little apartment back in Strathroy again, kind of like the one, it was like a fourplex. It was really nice. So I lived there until I moved to Brennan Drive. So I'm saying Brennan Drive like you guys even care. I don't even live there anymore, so I don't care about saying the address. It's just the way I talk about that place. It's like Brennan Drive. Like, I'm gonna take a little pause. Sorry, I don't know. Tyler says he was in front of the camera. I don't know if he was. He's just being a little banana. So yeah, that's pretty much my life in a nutshell till now. And whose red car is that? I don't know. Tyler must be waiting for somebody. He must have ordered pizza. I betcha I'm gonna hear someone knocking on the door. Because he wouldn't be up here otherwise. Waiting. Don't hear anybody yet. Yeah. Yeah. He ordered pizza. He ordered pizza. See? See how smart I am? I know everything. You can't keep anything from me. Nice of him to ask his mother if she wanted anything to eat. Nope. Never does. Never does. Only thinks of himself and his girlfriend. But when I buy stuff, I always think of them. But I think that's just my motherly instinct kicking in. Gotta make sure everybody's fed. I don't know. But yeah, I decided to film this when everybody wakes up. They've been sleeping all day. It's late in the afternoon. On Thursday, I have to venture out to Walmart. I do not really want to venture out to Walmart, but I have to because I have to go pick up some medication for Alyssa because she went to the doctor's yesterday. And yeah, so that pretty much, you know, my whole love life history of all the men I've been with. But yeah, needless to say, and I have dated off and on since then. Like, I don't have Trevor in there, obviously, my friend that passed away, but he was more like, you know, friends with benefits. So I wasn't really in a relationship with him. Yeah, we went on trips together, and yeah, we did stuff together, but not like, we only went on one trip together, but like I would go over there to his place. When we first started seeing each other, he would come over here, but then that stopped. He came over here a few times, but it mostly went over to his house. And he lived in like a little town outside of where Strathroy. He didn't live in Strathroy. So, like a lot of little towns around here, they all like come to Strathroy to work and stuff like that. I worked with a lot of his family over at the pharmaceutical plant when I worked there. I'm gonna do the H next. Seems like an awful lot of H's here for not very many H's in my dish. I feel like I'm gonna run out of color. I'm feeling that a lot with this painting though. I just lost 2 X's right here. I always feel like that with Diamond Art Club though. I always feel like I'm gonna run out. I don't know how people say, I got lots of gems left over from Diamond Art Club, and I'm just looking at them like, really? Because I feel like I'm always gonna run out. I missed a 7 over here. See that? Where's this right here? Oh, it is now. So, I'm just talking to myself. Is that what normal people do? No? No? They don't talk to themselves? Oh, okay. I thought they did. Oh boy. I'm a hot mess right now. So yeah, that's pretty much sums up my love life. If you want to call it a love life. But Raymond, I thought was my soulmate. Like, Raymond was my best friend. Like, I don't even know how to explain Raymond. I haven't found anybody that replaces Raymond in my heart. I seem to attract people that are in relationships and not single. And that's not healthy either. That's why I said to Lisa, when Lisa B told her story, I'm like, girlfriend, I know the whole thing because I've been in relationships like that. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. And I try to live my life the best that I can. I don't know if I'll ever be in a relationship again. But I hope, like, I would like to get married again, but I don't see that in my future. So I think I'm kind of like accepting it in life, that I'm never going to get married again. I'm not really looking. I was looking and I did go on, like, you know, the dating profiles. But I don't have much luck on there. They all just seem to want a booty call. They don't actually want a relationship. And I'm not looking for that. If I wanted that, I can get it anytime, right? The last guy I dated off of one of those sites, I think it was Tinder, I got totally blindsided up from him that he was seeing me and another girl. And that's what worries me about these dating sites, because you don't know who they're talking to. You don't know if they're talking to anybody else on the sites. And then you think your relationship with them is going out really good, and then they turn around and then they say, oh, well, I met somebody online and I like them more. Oh, so what am I? I'm just, you know, here until you find someone better. You know what I mean? Like, that was the point that I was getting at, and I pretty much just gave up. So, yeah, that's pretty much my love life is pretty much non-existent right now, especially with social distancing. How can you find somebody with social distancing? You know what I mean? So it's probably the best time because you can actually get to know the person before they get into your pants. Maybe that'd be a thing. I don't know. But right now, my love life is so non-existent. It's just me and this channel. So you guys have to put up with me and my jibber jabber all the time. Sorry, I know. My life is chaos. It was chaos. I don't want to go to work tomorrow. Well, it'll be today when you guys watch this. I'll be at work. I don't want to work all weekend. It's going to be, I feel like it's going to be hell. I feel like it's not going to be a good weekend. I just have this feeling in my bones that it's not going to be a good weekend. I feel like people are going to call in sick. I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about this weekend. The wind. I don't know if you guys can hear the wind, but the wind is blowing pretty hard out there. It is cold. I was standing out there talking to her and I was getting cold. There must be that polar vortex coming through, like they said was going to come through. They said it might snow tomorrow. I'm like, pardon? You can just leave the snow in the North Pole. The Northwest Territories can get the snow, not us. So, yeah. Life has just been crazy. It doesn't seem like it's going to get any better anytime soon. I'm just frustrated. I think everybody is. I think mental health right now is going to be struggled by a lot of people. With people that already have mental health issues, and even people that don't have mental health issues, well, maybe, or never knew they had mental health issues until this all came down, and now they realize they do. I don't know. I just feel like I feel very depressed. And, you know, I was never really one to go out and do stuff. when I was, even before, like I didn't like to go anywhere or do anything. But now I feel like I must have, because I'm feeling trapped. You know what I mean? Like, I must have felt like, oh, I didn't want to go or do anything, but you know, I did still have my freedom to do stuff. Like going to the grocery store back before this all started was different than going now. Like, you never had to wait in a line to go to the store. Like, I have to go to Walmart and I'm already dreading it because it's windy as heck out there and I have to stand in a line to get into Walmart. So, but I have to go because Alyssa needs her pills. And I gotta figure out what I'm gonna grab for supper. And I've been in this kick where I don't want to cook. I don't want to cook at all. But I can't really afford to buy takeout. I'm not Tyler. I'm not rich like Tyler. Speaking of rich, he should give me money today. He always avoids me when it comes time to give his mom some money. He doesn't really. He's pretty good at paying me. But he can't live here for free. That's for darn sure. But I don't know how much I've talked. I probably talked quite a bit. I think I'm going to let you guys go because now I'm just going to start talking crazy nonsense. That is probably the best videos you get from me. This one was kind of like a little bit of a downer video. Like, I didn't really say anything funny. It was kind of like a Debbie Downer video. Oh no. I think he's back. I told her she better hurry up and get her shit out before he comes back. Good thing I ain't gonna be around this weekend. He says he's changing the locks on her, so she's gotta get the stuff out today. She just has little stuff, I think. I don't know. Gosh, if our houses don't blow over with this darn wind. I feel like the house is gonna blow over. Oh, here comes the hurricane out of her room. So I guess that's my cue to get off of here. Because Alyssa woke up. And now she's sitting here staring at me.
I woke up an hour ago.
Oh, she woke up an hour ago.
You didn't hear me earlier when I went to the bathroom?
No. I did not. So, I will let you guys all go. I hope you guys all have a great, fantastic weekend. And I'll see you guys on Monday for a mystery diamond painting, which to me looks like absolutely nothing. I'll let you guys see on Monday. Anyways, take care, everyone. Say bye, Alyssa.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Well, folks, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you like, please subscribe to my channel. I'd be super tickle pink. And remember to hit that notification bell and it will remind you whenever I load up a video. And till next time, take care, everyone. Bye.